are connected. We are recording. I see it. Okay. Let's see what's going on. You. Hello. Maybe.
You just tap on the microphone.
Hi.
Hold on. We're getting our audio up and going.
No problem. I can hear you loud and clear. Let me know if you can hear me.
We're just getting, yeah, we can kind of hear you.
We're getting our producer. He's
Wow,
like,
you guys have like a full-on recording studio.
well, we have a producer. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Cool. Hi, producer.
'Cause I don't know how to do any of this.
Hi. Let's open this
You
up.
know what? You're great at being a host, and that's all that matters.
And it's been
Otherwise, the producer wouldn't have a job.
Yeah. He likes to listen to what we talk about sometimes.
Okay.
I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then you can move it if you want.
okay, cool. Hi. Thank you for being so cool, by the
Hi.
way, with all the changes. And
Because I'm the one that gets sick. One of them doesn't, the other one doesn't. I'm always the one. So it's just a crapshoot. But
And it's
blessings
like
to the health.
even more so when we're the moms, like taking care of everyone. It's always us. We always get sick. We are the ones in charge of both of the other immune systems. So we're like, okay, which one is going to give you the mutation? We'll see. I'll get the gamma one from you and the delta one from you, I bet.
That's all it is. They're just breeding germs for us.
Yeah, they are.
I'm going to do our intro real quick.
Okay, yeah. So we are a podcast. This is Jackie.
Hi.
My name is Diane. I'm Podhead Mom. I know we've spoken and seen each other, and you know my friends, the pot smoking moms. We've been on their podcast.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit more?
Yeah. So we're really excited. I know that you do a lot of like influential work and stuff, and we'd really like to know some like tips for people that want to get
Yes.
into that type of thing.
Absolutely. That's great. That's my forte. So this will be a great conversation today.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
what are you using today? Are you using any
Oh, you know what? That's what the thing is we're trying to suck out so much from the cannabis strains if we just got the right ones, we wouldn't have to smoke as much. And when I get the right strain, like one or two hits, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's the right one. But if I don't get the right strain, I'm smoking like bong load after bong load because I'm trying to extract that one terpene or one whatever the hell I'm looking for. But at the time I had no idea, and now you get it too. But like, yes, you do use less when you actually use more cannabinoids. That's the crazy thing that people don't realize.
Oh yeah, I definitely learned that. And then I started incorporating more of the CBs. And then I was like, oh, CBG, what's that one? Oh, now I'm really hungry. All right. Oh, CBN, now I'm really sleepy. Perfect. And I realized that the different ones worked best like for me. And yeah. So at this point in our podcast, we're going to do if you got it, bop it, smoke it, vape it, dab it.
Oh my God. Okay.
We just take like little vape hits, yeah.
So I'm using True Leaf. I've got an orange pineapple.
I
It's a
have
hybrid.
Columbia Care.
Ooh, orange pineapple sounds good. Wait, what did you say? Comedy Care?
Columbia Care.
I've come to realize that at the age that I'm at, for every day that I am doing something, I need that many days to recover. So 4-day trip.
Me too.
I need 4 days to recover.
4 on, 4 off.
Same. Yeah.
Oh my God, never again. Like what the actual, I forgot because I had not, that was my first work trip in God knows how long, since BizCon last year, or 2 years ago, since 2018. So it had been a really long time since I'd been around that many people. And I was also hosting my cousins concurrently. So I was hosting at my house, then going on a work trip, and coming back to hosting people again.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, let me tell you, I slept so much this weekend. I slept so much. I couldn't even believe how much I was sleeping. I almost felt like I got my second vaccine again. I'm like, am I fucking relapsing from the vaccine? Like, why do I keep sleeping like this? I'm just exhausted. I'm just fucking exhausted. That's all. So I'm good today. I got my sleep on. I got some sunshine this morning, but holy F, last week I was.
So do you want to
This is the good
formally?
thing. And this is why. Yes. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
No, go ahead. Go
Hi,
ahead.
I'm the Mommy Jane. Oh. Hi. Just wait. Do you want me to share my intro, or what do you want me to do? Just keep going and talking about it. Because what I was going to say was, there's no better time than now to get into the cannabis industry. It is pandemic proof. It is foolproof. It is just the best idea ever, because the thing is when you are passionate about something, you are always going to enjoy your work for the most part. Work is still work. But when you actually love what you do, you are going to be way more interested every single day. Where my people always get that phrase, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. This
Yeah.
is what they're talking about. This right here. So I'm a big fan of this topic.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I definitely wanted to reach out to you, because a lot of people do, label me the cannabis influencer, and I'm like, I am not. I just talk about weed and mental health, and that I am not the only person doing it, and that other moms are also doing it. That's all that I want to convey. And so that's why I wanted to reach out to a professional, because you do like lives and you have like classes and you do mentorships, and like you are like the real deal. And a lot of people are, the number one thing I get asked is like, how did you start this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just took a picture of myself smoking weed, and a lot of people liked it. I don't know, like that's all that I did. And I'm very genuine and open, and I don't talk about just like the good parts. And I talk about anxiety, overconsumption, using CBD, not using high THC products, using more flower. Like I talk about all of those things that are kind of not everyone wants to really hear.
Yes, the unpopular topics. That's the
Yeah.
thing is they're the unsexy topics, as my husband would say. It's the stuff that no one wants to hear about. I saw a really great meme from, I don't know if you two follow the antisocial stoner. I think that's the name.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the antisocial stoner. I think that's their correct term. But their memes are great. And I'm going to post it on my stories this week. I'm waiting for the right moment. But it's something along the lines like, you smoke weed to get high at parties, and I smoke weed to fold my laundry. We are not the
Yep.
same.
Yep.
And I was like, there it is. That is the perfect summary of, there's two different kinds of, as we're going to say this term, let's all cringe together, influencers, okay, in the cannabis industry. We have the influencers, and they're both needed. They're both necessary. We have the influencers for the recreational side of the industry, and that's like the party mode. That's to get people maybe hopefully to consume less alcohol and maybe a little bit more cannabis when they go out and they party with their friends. And then we have the health and wellness side of the industry. And this is the ones that where I'm talking about boundless technology. And moms are like telling me to STFU. Listen, I've been smoking for over 20 years. Okay. I have this voice for a reason. Yes, I was born with a deep voice, but over the years, it has definitely gotten more throaty. Where do you think that came from? Copious amounts of cannabis to the dome. So now I rely on things like moose labs and capsules and other things like gummies that will
Edibles.
kind of, these little things that help along the way, because man, my lungs can't take it like they used to. And if I'm really going to be advocating for health and wellness like I am, my children need to see me finding those cannabinoids in the best way for me personally. Now, how I find those cannabinoids are going to differentiate from everybody else's methods, but I'll always share my methods so that hopefully I can inspire somebody to try another method. I was so anti tinctures 3 years ago. I was so anti any edibles 5 years ago. I didn't think they worked. I thought they were like too unpredictable and all these things. But now there's so much nanotechnology and nano emulsifications, like the straws with my high, how you pour it right into your drink. I mean, essentially this stuff is like a pixie stick. It's really just powder cannabis.
Wow.
Where do
We don't have that in Florida.
We can't have nice things here. So
You will eventually.
Yes.
We're working on it. But
one day.
that's the thing is, we have so many methods that I like you and I, there needs to be people like us to talk about it, because there's so many moms that will DM me and go, I'm so glad you mentioned this. I've been so afraid to tell people that I can't smoke bongs anymore, or it hurts my lungs when I do. I didn't realize there's filters I could buy to make this easier. I don't have to give it up completely. I'm not saying you need to just throw out every single joint, but I am saying we should be a little bit more mindful of the methods on how we get those cannabinoids, and using products like sublinguals or drinks or tinctures. You'll find your method, and I don't think one method is the best way. I wake up and I do a transdermal gel pen, and I take a tincture, and then by 9 o'clock I take a little toke, and then by noon I'll take an edible, and like there's all these little things that throughout the day I'm doing my neck roller for when my neck is tense through the stress, and all those different things stack up. I don't just only smoke joints, and I don't just only use topicals, and that's not how it's meant to be. Cannabis is a lifestyle. That's why we're able to have jobs that showcase that lifestyle. Otherwise, there would never be a thing for us to post about. There would be no content. There's a reason why we have that ability to share daily how we use cannabis and how cannabinoids help our lives. So I'm a huge advocate. I like to tell people I'm a spokesperson for cannabis, because I know people turn their head once they hear the word influencer, but I have no other word. People call us that. It is what it is. I wrote a book about it, and I can't shy away from it at this point.
Yeah. And you are. And to piggyback off of what you said, using the different strains also that have different levels of CBN and CBD and CBG and THCA, and using all of those different strains also, in my opinion, is a big, important thing to add to your daily routine, not just sticking with the one strain of, shatter every day. That's what you use, and no other strain will appeal to you. And I have come out, and I've smoked since I was, for a long ass time. I've smoked for 20 years, I think. And yeah, I used to be able to take huge ass gravity bong rips and do dabs and do this. And then I don't know what happened as I got older. I'm like, oh my gosh, this indica is giving me anxiety. I'm having anxiety. What is happening? And it's because I'm using too high THC products. I'm getting older. My brain is changing. I'm not being mindful of the medicine I am consuming. I'm not keeping track of how much or what I'm using. And then I realized that, I actually do have to be mindful of what I'm doing in real life, in my job, and when I'm medicated.
More and more over months and over years. And I was so grateful, because I was alone. I saw myself and Kira Faye, and at the time she wasn't even a mom yet. She was pregnant. Those are the only, and Jane West, those are the only moms I knew about in the industry. I didn't know very many moms. Not very many moms were advocating for it. There were no pot smoking mom podcasts for me to listen to. I fucking wished, I prayed, and I hoped for women like you to come forward and do this shit, because I felt so alone. Because not only was I alone in my life, living alone and being a stay-at-home mom in the desert away from my friends, but I felt even more isolated because I was in this space of the internet where no one was supporting you. If you look even to this day at Canamom hashtags, they're very low numbers. If you look at cannabis coaches or mom coaches, it's very low numbers. There are not a lot of resources for mothers out there. There are not a lot of resources when it comes to mental health and mothers out there. And I'm doing what I can, and I have been doing what I can to change that. And I will continue to do so until there are dozens of us out there, thousands of us doing this, on a daily basis. And all of a sudden I'm irrelevant. The minute I've done my job is when I become irrelevant.
No, I don't think that you would become irrelevant. I think that you would just become a part of the hive. And that's honestly what I'm trying to become and help, I guess, form, because when I started doing social media work, it was not cannabis related, because I was afraid. I was afraid to put that out there. I was scared to show people that I used cannabis, because I had 2 small children, and this is 7 years ago. And that was, Instagram did not have
it was a ghost town.
We didn't have stories even at the time, but I was already staging all of these pretty pictures because I had online shops for the things that I was making. And so I really liked doing that. And then I got my medical card, so I had a license, and I was still afraid to talk about it. And then I think I got so angry from being like shamed into the closet, and then I just like burst open the closet and I was like, fuck your shame, fuck your guilt. I smoke weed because I need it for my mental health. I tried to do a whole bunch of other things and nothing has helped like this. And then I don't know, I just kept staging the pictures, but I would use like weed or bongs, or I would just do what
You
I
made it
was
into a
using.
lifestyle. You made it into a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not a phase.
No, it's not a phase, Mom.
Lifestyle.
And that was like
Jackie, yes, Jackie.
2 or 3 years ago now. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly. It's been about 2 or 3 years though that I've been doing that, and just
3 years ago it was different.
yeah,
Even 3 years ago it was different. I
was.
mean, every year we see significant changes and
Yeah.
significant progress because, man, I mean, when I first started, there was no blunt blowing mama. There was no high
No.
society mama. There was none of that, you guys, because
It was just
I
came
found,
about.
I
yes.
found them through here. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's just, we're so lucky to have these women now and these platforms now and these podcasts now and these connections now, because it can be such an isolating experience. And I hope there's a mom right now who just stumbled upon this podcast and was so grateful to hear voices of women that also use the plant for wellness or for recreation. It doesn't even matter. As long as you find the benefits and get that homeostasis, it doesn't even matter. It really doesn't matter. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the progress because I've literally seen it and I've watched it with my own eyes change in front of me. And it is the most beautiful garden that I have seen significantly grow. And to think that we are not even federally legalized yet, you guys. So all of you listening right now, you are not too late. Just because we've done this, you are not too late. This is the wake up sign. This is your come to Jesus to tell you it is time to join cannabis evangelism, is what I like to call it.
The Church of Cannabis.
Can we go knock on doors? You have a moment to talk to us about our
Lord Savior
Cannabis.
Let me tell you about this plant right here. It can be baked, fried, boiled, baked.
It'll make
can
you
eat the raw
baked,
leaves,
fried.
You can decarb it, you can eat it, you can smoke it, you can dab it. Yeah.
All of
And
it.
you know what's really great is the Jane West. We've actually had her on our podcast also talking about like the inequality and just like the diversity or the lack thereof, the diversity and women in cannabis. And she told me the same exact thing. She's like, do not stop. Keep talking about it. That is all we need you to do, is just keep talking about it. And I'm like, okay, yes, all right. And it was definitely a fangirl moment because I like love her. I love what she's about. I just love everything about her. And it really did kind of make me realize that this is my job and there is a point to what I'm doing. And I think for a lot of us, we're like, oh, we don't have over 100,000 followers. We don't have over 10,000 followers. We need to be like Koala Puffs and posting content every day, making funny videos. Like, no, we need some flat lays. We need some very aesthetic looking photos. We need some like cute CBD girls. We need some shot girls that have blunts and not actual like tubes with alcohol. We need that. Anything that can be applied to partying or using alcohol can be applied to cannabis 10 times more so, because you can use it as an aesthetic. Like speak like that.
She can't even
What about
walk.
throwing up all over the place?
And we've been there. I mean, I've been there.
Yeah, no judgment whatsoever.
I mean, my
no.
20s
no.
were consumed with alcohol.
If anything, I'm just like concerned for your safety.
Yeah.
I'm not judging at all. I just, can I give you a
It's absolutely
joint?
concerned.
Like,
balance you out.
Can we party a different way? You'll just be a little bit more mellow. You won't throw up everywhere though, and you'll still be able to walk and talk. And that, I think, is something I would like to see more of, because like seeing the parties, like I didn't see people sloshed and maybe there were
No fights,
drinking.
no throwing up, no
Yeah.
wastedness. Because, well, the thing is, when it comes to drinking, no one over drinks. Like people had like a drink or two, but no one was really like out to really get
Everyone's
like
doing
hammered.
gas.
Nobody wants to feel
Yeah.
like crap, probably, because we
It was
all
just something to
get
sip on. Yeah, it was just like a little. They had like this coconut one. I only got to have a couple sips of, but it was very flavorful. It wasn't like alcohol. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
they were going for like the tropical and the mimosas and all that kind of stuff. Luckily, they weren't giving out like shots and stuff like that. And I even commented on that because not a lot of California, events serve alcohol. Maybe I've been to about 3 or 4 that have. So that was one of a few that I had been to. And I'm so grateful because every time the alcohol is served, I always hold my breath. I'm like, oh, please just don't let anything bad happen. Well, let's make sure this is high vibe. Like, let's keep this high vibe. And thank God the cannabis industry, I don't know if it's just a fluke, but they've figured out their balance. Like maybe it's a one drink, one joint situation. I have no idea, but thank God because it is a different lifestyle. And I wish people spoke about it more. And, just the fact that I don't have to deal with a hangover anymore and I don't have to deal with the nausea the next day and just even if you're not hungover you still kind of get that queasy feeling or you're just not in the mood to eat something or you don't have the energy to work out or you're snapping at your kids and stuff like that. So I mean alcohol is a time and a place. I'm not judging people and I will every once in a while have a drink or two, but it's I have a different relationship and I have to because that it is a poison. It is absolutely a poison and it needs to be respected just like driving vehicles and the ocean.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I 100% agree with that. To all of that, actually, my dad is an alcoholic, like still to this day, homeless, drinking by the river somewhere, but he does not give a shit if he has a beer. And that to me is like, oh wow, there's a lot of fucked upness going along with that alcohol. I'm gonna stay away from overconsumption. Thanks. And then when you see people over consuming cannabis, they're just like passing out, eating, and then like they're coughing a bunch. It's just totally different. And I have seen both ends of the spectrum, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick with weed.
Stick over here.
Yeah.
Yes, and some of them says live both sides. Think about the people that have come to this side, leaving the alcohol to come to the green side of
the dark
Canada.
side.
We've actually talked about recovering from like opiates using medical marijuana, and I'm friends with someone.
Damn, that is definitely something I've never really put too much thought into. Like I thought about behaviorally, but not like visually, even like what that looks like. I think it's because in my mind, I'd always been painted as like it was acceptable for me to be an alcoholic, but it was not acceptable for me to be a cannabis consumer. And so I always had that stigma stuck with it. So I never saw myself in that sort of like, oh, I must have looked like a fool. I never ever had that because in my mind, I always felt like I look like a fool by talking about cannabis. And I always cringe thinking, oh my God, someone's going to come across my page and know. And I'm like, why would I care though? Who cares if they see me and they know? Good, let them know. Let them know. But if that was wine, I would never be like, oh my God, what if they come across my Instagram and I'm holding wine? Like, I never thought those thoughts before. What the heck?
Yeah. I think that the more I kept pushing back at that same mentality that you have, that it's okay to have a glass of whatever beer or wine on your Instagram, but it's not okay to have a pretty picture of marijuana. And I kept pushing at it and pushing at it and pushing at it and saying, essentially like, fuck you, I'm not listening, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And I just like kept fighting that. And I think that's why I started the podcast too, because I'm like, well, I want to confront more like controversial things. And we talk about like, is social media toxic or is it actually us that's the toxic part? And we talk about like all these super crazy things and like dialectical behavioral therapy. So to me, again, like I'm not like an influencer. I'm just someone who will talk about like weed for a long time. Like I'll talk about weed forever with you if you want.